We are live tonight. It's the crack of dawn. It's late in the night, but me and my buddy, my co-host Lance Aroni, who is joining us today. Lance, actually, I didn't even have to bring you onto the screen. You're already up on here. We're kind of just doing this. We're just ad-libbing it. We're just ad-libbing it. We'll probably have no one watching, but it doesn't matter. People can watch the replay.
Oh yeah, watch
but,
replay.
but we were just talking off air, and I think what you just said was so cool. Was that because everyone knows you do the pizza, you deliver the pizzas, and like you're saying, the weekends are the hot time of the week. Because no one wants to cook on the weekends, so everyone wants to just order the pizzas. So I thought it was great because you're saying, what a lost kind of like not lost art, but lost like appreciation.
Yeah,
people have because you spoil yourself with that, as you should, with that Sirius XM radio.
I do. Once
and you can't go back, right?
And you know, for not to interrupt, for all you out there that are talking about, it's expensive or it gets too expensive, just get a basic plan with like the channels that you want, and then right before it's about to do the old, if you don't cancel it, they're going to charge you 10 times as much. Just cancel it, and they'll almost bend over backwards to you. I've been getting Sirius XM radio on these discounts for like 3 years. Like I'm like a new customer every 6 months. I know how to talk to people. You just got to be polite and just say, I just can't quite afford it right now. Next thing you know, I'm getting it cheaper than I was the last 6 months. I don't know how it happens, but I'm thankful.
Hey, if I said that too, and I mean it, I really can't afford it. So you know what, XM, if you're listening, you want to sponsor us or give us some free radio subscriptions to me and Lance, we gladly take that. But you were saying, which I thought was so cool, is that you listened to the end of the Red Sox Yankees game on the radio, like they did back, which is so cool. Like almost 100 years ago, that's how they took in the games, which is what you did, and I agree. There's something really cool about listening to the radio broadcast. It just kind of takes you back and kind of leaves a lot to the imagination. So, how much of the game did you catch, Lance?
I got to listen from about the middle of I got to listen to bits and pieces throughout the game because I was delivering in and out of the car, but solid nonstop. I got it about the middle of the eighth to the end.
So you tuned in just the right time.
That's the right.
You really didn't miss anything.
I was literally, everybody can say this, but God struck me dead right here. I was literally saying in my head, man, when Yoshida had one more out, ball game's over, I thought this would be a great time for one of my silly, goofy, like Twitter, like get your rally caps on, Red Sox fans, or Mikey, this and that. And I thought, I just leave it alone. Got my
chains going. Got the chains going.
Next thing I know, I'm texting you. It's like, wow.
Quick shout out to one of my OGs who I started off on iSports Radio. We did a show before the finals in Dallas. My man Drewski, Lance. Drew, say what's up to Drewski. That is my dog right there. He was actually keeping me up to date on the Rangers game. And Drewski, if you're still listening, every time I because his Twitter, he keeps everything up to date. Like we're trying to keep up with him, Lance. So, but he tonight, I didn't even realize a guy named David Robertson was still in the league. And the reason I know him is because he used to kill us on the Yankees. And apparently he's still balling with the Rangers. Wow. So yep, and there it goes. He said, "What's good? What's good with you, Mr. Lance?" So
hey, I'm just trying to keep up with all you all. Mikey's great. The Boston crowd's been pretty welcoming to me. I'm kind of the oddball from Indiana that likes the Lakers, and just showing people that Boston and LA can hang out.
And that's the thing. I love everyone from everywhere. I don't care where you're from. If you talk sports and you're cool,
we're gonna find
You got a home. You got a home, Arlington City. I'm gonna follow your stuff. It was cool. It was cool following my man My man Drewski. If anyone wants to follow his show, DFW Sports Raps, RIPZ on YouTube, Lance, you give it a follow. He's got great stuff.
And you've told me about. I think just a couple days ago you were talking about him, how awesome he was. So
he's the man. He's the man. He's part of the family. He's part of the OBC family. He came on my show. I'm part of his fam. You know, I wish supersonic jets were like more of a thing and cheap, because you know I just want to have all my boys from all across the country just over to get on beers, watch the shows, and
be awesome.
But
the dream.
This is the next best thing. Next best thing with the internet. So anyway, so getting back to the game tonight, the Sox absolutely ripped the hearts out of the Yankees, which was incredible because
it makes you smile. It really
does. It does. Because
that Yankee payroll, man, that shame on them. That's what you get. And that's coming from me being a Reds fan, because we can't afford your all's jock straps. But you know what? We just swept the Yankees, and now Cincinnati, we're bringing the luck to you guys. You're going to sweep the Yankees. You can do it, man. They're down. They have no confidence right now.
We're talking. It must be like a kryptonite for the Yankees, because your Reds, okay, R-E-D, Reds. The Red Sox. It must be something about that color, you know, like I don't know if the Yankees are part of the Crips or what, but something about the red just doesn't fly with the Yankees, and that's good. And Lance, the Reds are struggling this season, but you guys did us a solid, and you guys look great. And
and the crazy thing is, Mikey, that was the first time that the Reds had swept the Yankees in the Bronx since 1976. I mean,
that's crazy.
That's crazy. And it really goes to show you the Yankees, they're struggling right now because I mean, I'm sorry to say this, Reds, I love you, but we had no business sweeping the Yankees at their own house.
In Yankee Stadium, where teams just like lose, just seen, you know, a lot of weird things.
I know people have heard about him, but you know, if you don't watch a lot of Reds games, Ellie De La Cruz is so fun. That's really, you know, we don't have a whole lot of excitement coming out of Cincinnati, but one of the things we do have is him. He's so magical on the bases. He just steals base after base. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
He's electric.
That's about all
that guy. But you know what? That gives you guys hope. You know, if I'm a Reds fan, I'm locking that guy up and I'm building around him.
I like
that guy. That guy's
jokes, but
your future. Who's that?
I said I like our young team. I mean, I joke and stuff, but you know, being a Reds fan, you know, you're a fan or you're not. I mean, it's not a team you're going to jump in and out of. I mean, it's typically more heartache than success. You know, we've never quite had success of history like Boston or New York. But you know, the big red machine in the early '90s, you know, that's kind of our fame to the big game. You know. So,
well, I mean, speaking of the big red machine, the Red Sox and the Reds have history. One of the greatest World Series, you know, ever. I mean, before our times, you know, 1975. But I mean, the highlights of that series will live on forever. You know, you got the Fisk home run where he's like, you know, he's guiding it, and it hits off the foul pole, and you got all those classic like Johnny Bench, Pete Rose. Like it was just, I mean, that series.
Rose in the Hall of Fame.
He just absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, that guy.
What he did was right, but you know, if you had to nitpick, Mike, at least he was betting on his team to win.
Yeah, right.
Like I think that was admitted. Now I'm not saying. I mean, betting's betting, wrong is wrong, but at least he wasn't like screwing his team. I mean, he was on his team to win. As far as
he wasn't throwing games, and if he did, it wasn't during when he was playing. I mean, that was when he was a manager, and he was.
And you know something interesting you're talking about. Actually, I had seen a clip one night when I was watching some of your videos on your page.
I appreciate that.
Chris Mad Dog Russo, and he had throws on in the SiriusXM studio. I guess it was within the last year or two. And Pete Rose was talking about, you know, why he felt robbed of not being in the Hall of Fame. He said, you know, the Cincinnati Reds, they call me when they want to sell more tickets or bring me into the stadium or do this and that, but then they don't want me if I'm not making them money. And I felt kind of bad for him. It just felt like, how can you not, you know, back the man that was so great for your organization? And I know the betting is the kind of bad part, but so much good.
You know what though? He's almost like it's almost like he served his time. You know, it's like
I mean, come on.
Let him be. I mean, like it's he's taking a lot of shit, and and do you remember that Jim Gray interview where he totally just like it was supposed to be like a celebration, and Jim Gray just friggin' did him dirty, like so dirty. I think it's about time we let Pete Rose in. The guy was unbelievable. You know, as my man Drewski said, that was an epic series, 7 games. Really you had everything. You had just, I mean, all the Hall of Famers: Carly Yastrzemski, Carlton Fisk, Louis Tina for the Sox, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan on the Reds, Rose. I mean, it was just crazy. Like, that's a series I almost feel like I should go back on YouTube now and rewatch.
I know. Now that you said that, it's like, man, I bet there's stuff that I have definitely forgotten that I'll go back and be like, oh, I remember seeing that on a replay. Obviously, we weren't alive, but I've seen so many replays and clips, and it's part of history. I mean, it's never going to go anywhere.
The cool thing about that is so many things change, but Fenway did not. Fenway is the same as it was, back then. That's the oldest. It is the oldest ballpark remaining, and just to know like all the historic things that have happened there, I think that's pretty cool. All right, so getting to the game tonight. All right, I know you were following earlier, and I almost turned the game off because I was pissed. The Red Sox, we had a pretty decent pitching outing from our guy Tanner Houck, and we gifted the Yankees are just. They're reeling. They're struggling bad, and we gifted them 3 runs in I think it was like the 4th inning or something on a play we should have been out of the inning. So
it was a wild pitch from that was one of the scenes where I was in and out of my car. But from what Tom Byrne had said on Mad Dog, he was like, "Oh, you got to get out of that inning." He said that's a wild pitch to second, and then I got to go back and I see his arm outstretched and. It was a bad play. Taylor-made
double play. Should have, a big leaguer should have made it. A big leaguer should make that play. And usually against the Yankees, you give them extra outs, you're going to lose, which we almost did. But almost doesn't count.
What do you think caused that necessarily? Just was he just trying to go too fast? Was he just nervous? I mean, I guess we don't really know. But what do you think as a Red Sox diehard?
That's a great question, and it was our guy Valdez, who's younger and doesn't have a ton of experience, and it was the Red Sox first time playing in New York this year.
Probably just tight.
And there's when young guys play in New York, you see all the fans are right on top of you. New York fans are loud; they'll get on you. You feel that pressure. You want to make the perfect play, and it seemed like he rushed it a little because he wanted to make the perfect double play. When it was the catcher running, who's slow as molasses.
Yeah,
he could have just underhanded it to the second, and the guy still would have been chugging along halfway up the
learning lesson for him to kind of realize I don't always need to launch this like Dan Marino. I just need to
right. And they say for a lot of the inexperienced players, the game kind of speeds up for them, and they make mistakes that way. And you could tell he should have taken another, gotten the ball, taken another step, and gotten the throw correctly. He would have had plenty of time.
Yeah.
But because he was on the big stage, it's the big rivalry. You want to win so bad. He made the mistake there. And thankfully it didn't cost us because, because when you still win and you make those errors, it's a great learning. It's a great learning experience.
It's better than, like you said, making that error and then coming out with a loss and you think, what if?
That's it. That's it. I mean, you look at the whole game. Without that error in that inning, the Yankees didn't score at all.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that to me gave the Yankees a little of that confidence back in life. The Reds kind of sucked it out of them, really.
For a team you want to hold down because they're struggling. You don't want to give them any life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and sound too cocky. I mean, you don't want the Yankees to get rolling. And I feel like they had such a good first start to the year. You kind of sensed, or at least I kind of sensed, they're going to cool off a little bit here.
Yeah.
But now you guys, wow. I wrote something down that blew my mind. So the 15th of June, the Yankees were sitting at 50-22. The Orioles were 3.5 games back at 45-24, and the Red Sox at that time were 14 games back at 35-35.
That's right. We were 14 games back. It's crazy.
You go to today.
Yeah.
And that is the Orioles are 55-32, so they jumped up to first. Now the Yankees are 2 games behind, which I guess now they'd be 3 games behind because they're 54 and now 36, and you guys now are 48-39. So you are only 7.5 games back compared to 14. You've cut that nearly in half since June 15th. So since
with the Yankees, we're now only four games, like about 4 games in back of them. So we cut 10 games off the Yankees, which is crazy.
And you think the Yankees, since what I told you on June 15th, they have lost 13 games. Well, now 14, and they've won 4 compared to you guys have won, what, 13 and lost 4 now or something like,
they're a mess, a complete mess.
I mean, 2 totally different. What the Yankees seem like they were kind of doing, now it seems like you guys have caught whatever they had a little bit. That's what you want to do. You want to be hot to me going into the playoffs or getting a wild card spot or finishing the season. I mean, you got to be in striking distance, but while you guys are getting hot, they're cooling off.
It's like they peaked so early.
You got to want that as a Red Sox fan,
and as a Yankees fan, you got to be thinking
nervous. I think
like Don, we peaked a little early.
Now,
like really early.
Fans calling in on the on shows I call and talk to all the time, and some of them are saying well we were so hot, it's just it's baseball, man, we were bound to cool off, and maybe that's just a coping mechanism for them.
That's what they're doing.
What can I really say when my Cincinnati Reds are 42-47? I can't say too much, but the Yankees, in my eyes, not to being a hater or anything, I'd be a little nervous. Like, okay, let's not fall too far into this slump because then it could smell trouble.
The Yankees are in complete free fall mode right now, and I mean, if they don't watch out, they could fall right out of this because you got teams like the Astros, the Rangers, the World Series defending champ Rangers
right now
that are really struggling, struggled to start the season, but they're coming on. And if the Yankees don't get their bleep together,
it's going to smell trouble.
They could be right out of this thing pretty quick.
I would have to think if I'm part of that Yankees organization as a player, as a personnel, whatever. You've got this payroll that is so big that has to bring pressure.
380 million.
Think of those players right now. Them losing a game to the Red Sox after just getting swept by the Reds, they're feeling it right now. I don't care what they say in an interview. The Yankees are feeling it, man. And if I'm a Yankees fan, tomorrow's Saturday's a big game to get back in the win column. If I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm going to put my foot down and
go for blood. You're out for blood. You're a shark in the water, and you've tasted that blood in the water, and now you go for the kill. And baseball is, it's crazy, Lance. Baseball's such a game of momentum. You get a team. With hitters, they get on hit streaks and they get hot. They'll be going 2 for 4 every game. They'll be hot as hell, and then you get guys that are in a slump and they'll be 0 for the last 20. So it is a big. It's a lot of mental. Speaking of your Reds, though, I was just curious. Your Reds are they're only 4.5 games out of a wild card spot.
It's crazy to think we couldn't, but I don't think anybody believes us for sure.
Yeah. It's
a hell of a finish. Put it that way.
It's the so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Because the Brewer, okay, so you're mainly a Red Sox fan, obviously, or a Red Sox fan. So you have bad blood for the Yankees, obviously.
Oh yeah.
I know some Reds fans that really dislike the Cubs or really dislike the Cardinals or the Brewers. For me, it's kind of the Brewers because they always seem to freaking beat us. At least recently. It's like, man, how the hell can we not beat the Brewers? Come on.
Yeah.
They're a bad team for us, it seems like.
It's funny because there's certain teams, you think of the Cubs and St. Louis, you think of the Red Sox, Yankees. When I think of the Reds, I don't. It's interesting that you said the Brewers because I don't think there's no like natural like.
I don't
Red
really
Sox,
know if other Red
Yankees.
fans, even think like I do. I might just be an oddball, but it seems like when I've went to
well, we know that's true, but
seems like when I've went to Reds games where we've lost to the Brewers, everybody in the stands is like, son of a bitch. They're just like the freaking Brewers. God. And it's like we want to beat them, we can beat them, but we just seem to have mental errors, bad games. I guess I can name every excuse in the book, but it just seems like we just struggle against the Brewers, man. They're first in the division right now. Yeah, they're first. I don't know how many games you said, 4.
So the Reds are, and this is the wild card. The wild card. They're 4.5 games out. I mean, I
wish we were 4.5 out.
They're 4 games under 500. And you look at in the division, they're 9.5 behind Milwaukee. Yeah,
that's what I was.
I can see why you don't like Milwaukee because they're front runners right now. Anyways, so let's get back to the game tonight. What was so, I guess, satisfying about this win was the fact that, I mean, I know as a fan, you always want to say, yeah, we knew we were in it, but you get the truth serum. I thought we're gonna. Most Sox fans thought we were gonna lose. We were down in the 9th, 2 outs, no runners on, down 2 runs in Yankee Stadium to their, one of their best relievers, their closer, and
the outfield script you need at that point, like the Disney ending, and you got it.
It really was, and Lance, maybe I should give they say give him his flowers, give you the flowers for. I believe yesterday you said something like I like the Sox. Didn't you say like 4-3 or something like that?
I was close. I was like, dude,
the game was 5-3. Lance, I'm telling you, man.
I have those feelings sometimes, and I'll randomly. Like, remember in the finals with Drew Holiday, random prop, man, he's gonna kill him in this game, and you were like, really? And then you'd be like, damn, dude. And now I don't hit him all the time, obviously.
We got to take that trip to Vegas, Lance, is what I'm saying.
We either gonna come home rich, or we're gonna be like, God, we're idiots.
Yeah, right.
I don't think Lance had any clue.
I could see it like being going really well or really bad, but
sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I am that guy that I'll wake up and be like, man, I really like the shoes he had on. He's feeling himself. He's gonna win the night, and people will be like, and he'll win. And they'll be like, "That's really why." Like, man, I could just look at him. He's just feeling himself.
I love it, man. It's like those managers that say, "Screw it" to all the analytics. I just got a feeling. Give me that lefty. I know he's the better.
I love to be Skip Bayless.
400 against him. Yeah, right.
Full bull hockey. I'll say. I mean, there's people that make a living on ESPN right now doing that exact thing.
That's it, man. Like, how are we different? We're no different.
Yeah. We just need that spot. We
just need a little more publicity, but a couple million viewers, and we're there.
We need Paul Pierce sitting beside you with that
that's
chain.
What I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
That's a little tougher, but I see plenty of room in that area you're in to bring Paul Pierce, to bring Big Baby.
Saying, man.
Go ahead and bring Kevin Garnett, bring the whole crew. One day we're going to go live, and you're all going to freak out because Mike's going to have Paul Pierce in there. And
you know what?
I feel it.
We can look back on these broadcasts, the early days, the OBC with Lance and Mike. We'll be like, remember when we were saying that, and then we'll play that on the show, the highlight when they're actually here. Be like, hey, Paul, this was the show like 2 years ago. Like.
Yeah, Paul's house doing it, except for he won't let me in because I'm a Laker fan.
It's all right. You just
come in, but this
I'll let you borrow some of my Celtics gear for that episode. So
like I'll be wearing no purple up here.
There you go. Oh man. So okay. So another funny thing about the so getting back to the game tonight, I want to give credit to Yoshida in the bottom of the 9th has the tying home run. Wow. But before that, pinch hitter Dom Smith kept the game alive with a single. And if he doesn't do that, there is no Yoshida heroics.
Yeah.
So,
that's a lot of play before.
It really was. It really was. So, a lot of things need to happen for a good comeback like this. And those two things were huge. Dom Smith pinch, it's not, and pinch hitting is not an easy thing.
Mm-mm.
You know, sitting for
Pressure.
2-3 hours, then all of a sudden you got to hit the closers.
And once again, not to bring it up, but you're at the Yankees. You're on the road. It's pressure filled.
That's it, man. And so big, big credit to Dom Smith for keeping the game live. And then we get to Yoshida, who, I don't know if on the radio, but he was down 0-2 in the count.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to serve. At that point, we're not thinking home run. We're just thinking don't strike out, get on base any way you can.
And I wrote something down that you just said that because you're going to like this. So after the game, Holmes, who pitched that from the Yankees, he admitted that he had probably thrown one too many sinkers. He had actually thrown 6 in a row. I went back and counted, right?
Wow.
So get this. After those comments, Yoshida comes back and through his interpreter basically says that the slider, had the slider not, what do you say? The slider there? Yeah, slider there would have been a different story. So he's saying, had Holmes not thrown sinker after sinker after sinker and maybe threw a slider in there, Yoshida said he probably would have struck out. Basically. I mean, so think of that. Yoshida.
So he was sitting on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because how many times are you going to go to the wall with your same pitch?
Yeah. So
these guys
that's interesting. Holmes to throw 6 straight sinkers.
That's crazy.
That's Holmes' 5th blown save in 24 chances.
Really?
Now you go over to your all side, Kenley Jansen.
Oh, he's been amazing.
Save in 18 chances. I mean, I'll take that all day long. 17 out of 18. Now, what's also cool about that, Mike?
He's been amazing. He's been great.
137th career save, which ties him with Francisco Rodriguez for 5th. So that's cool.
I am so glad you brought that up. You realize every time he gets a save, you're watching history because he's either separating himself on the top 5, 5 ever closers, and to now see him still doing it at such a high level.
437. That's
unbelievable. Which makes me want to shout to the Red Sox management, please add somebody at the deadline. Let's not waste this Hall of Famers.
I got something juicy for you. So you just mentioned that you wanted me to find somebody I thought maybe y'all could trade with. I'm not an expert at MLB. I told you off camera, sometimes I struggle with baseball a little bit because of my work schedule. I don't get to watch a whole lot of games.
You're a sports fan, man.
That I get to watch enough, and I got serious. But a guy, now it's not like I came up with this. I've read a few things and just kind of put a few columns together, and I thought, who makes the most sense here? Yeah. To me, it's, and I might mess his name up.
Yeah,
he plays on the Blue Jays. He's their pitcher, Yoshi Kikuchi.
Interesting. I don't know a lot about him.
Kikuchi. Now he's going to be a free agent at the end of 2024. But
interesting.
If they were looking for a rental hurler, I mean, this dude. I mean, I know I butchered his name, and I'm so sorry. But he is a potential trade target that I've been reading for you guys out of the Blue Jays.
Really?
And
that's a good one.
Is spelled Yusei. Last name spelled Kikuchi. Kikucha.
I'm looking him up right now. Let's see.
Because it's, with him being a free agent at the end of 2024, you're thinking, well, is that worth it? Well, if you can go on a title run and he's a gunslinger for you guys on that mound, giving you somebody else maybe. So
maybe he can put you over the top.
Yeah.
Is he a starter or reliever?
Let's see. I have starter and reliever wrote here, but I think I might have been writing you another player and I didn't finish.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. You say Kikuchi.
Is that Kikuchi? I guess that's how you
say it. Is it Kikuchi? K-I-K? Is that the guy that we're talking about?
Yeah, I talk with a country slang anyway, so
it's all good.
But yeah, that's, and you might do some reading off camera about him to see maybe what you think as a Red Sox fan, but that's a guy that they were saying could help you guys, but, would probably be a rental.
You know what, though? I don't think he's going to cost – I don't think he's going to cost you too, like one of your blue chip prospects.
Yeah, because they said that they would not be interested at this point in trading people like Tyler O'Neill because of the start you guys have had. Now, maybe at one point, was that a guy that they were talking about in Boston? I might be a little out of the realm on that, but was he ever on the trade block for you guys, Tyler O'Neill? Or is that just a guy that people wanted?
Here's the thing is that he's on our roster now, and he's a contributor, so it wouldn't make it wouldn't make sense for us to trade him now if we feel like we're contending, because
there was a part reliever, I think, on your all's team that other teams had showed interest in. I wrote his name down, maybe.
Well, I know Kenley Jansen has been rumored all year, and it makes me sick every time I hear someone say.
And I was like, why would they? I don't like that. And like I said, I'm a Reds fan at heart, but that wouldn't make much sense to me as an outside kind of Red Sox fan because of you. I would not get rid of no.
Oh God, no. I mean, it's if that happens and they trade him, I am going to pick it outside Fenway Park and boycott. Put the paper bag over my head with the cutout eyes and just boycott and tell people, avoid it at all costs, because they're just they like to make us suffer. But yeah, I don't see how they could possibly do that at this point with the Sox doing so well. I mean, it's almost you ever seen that movie Major League, where the team is winning despite the ownership? That's what the Sox are doing now, but they've now created so much good publicity. The ownership almost can't trade anybody now because they're doing so good.
Do you remember back months ago when you interviewed Peter Gammons and you were kind of talking about, best case, worst case?
Yes.
It'd be funny for you to interview him right now, wouldn't it? Just kind of be like, hey, you hanging with us still?
It's funny because when I did interview him, I asked him for the best case. I was like, in the wildest best case scenario, what could it be? He actually kind of nailed it. He's like, if the young guys produce, they get the pitching, and pretty much everything that needed to go right has happened. What he said, there's a reason he's one of the best ever. And that would be, I would love to re-interview him though. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I gotta put that clip back up because it's very relevant now because they're doing so good.
You think about it, like we mentioned earlier, the Yankees are in the midst of possibly being double swept. I mean, they could, the Reds swept them, and you guys have got one of 3 so far. So, I mean,
I was looking that their last 20 games, they're terrible. Yeah. They've lost they lost 17 of
I thought it was 5 or 15 or something crazy
some crazy. Yeah. I mean, you probably would have the numbers.
How can you not be nervous as a Yankee fan? I mean, even if I was a Yankee fan and we got off to that great start, I'd be feeling terrible right now. Like we ain't won but 5 games in the last, whatever we said it was, 5 out of 15 or 7, whatever. It's horrible. Now, one thing that I did write down, Mike, and I wanted your comment on this. So I noticed that Boston had I'm assuming this was before the game and not counting tonight's game, but it said Boston had a league high 67 errors.
Yes. And that was
compared to other teams. Is that way higher, or is there other teams right there with them? Or I didn't get to really, I didn't write down who was second, third, fourth, but I just knew Boston. That's probably a stat that they don't like, obviously, but with young players, that's going to happen.
I'm glad you pointed that out because they mentioned it on the game earlier. Boston is dead last in the MLB in errors, and you think of where we are, and we're doing pretty damn good. In spite of that, you clean that up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Think of how dangerous the team can be. I mean, we're dead last in errors, and tonight it almost burned us again. The Yankees, that their one inning where they scored was a result of the error.
Yeah, I wrote down. Valdez accounted for a pair of unearned runs in the 4th. I mean,
that's it.
That's that.
So, and I mean, if the Red Sox do keep winning and they do keep this momentum and doing well, those things will catch up to you in the playoffs.
Yeah,
because I mean, you're facing
so much.
You're facing all the best pitchers, all the best hitters. There's zero room for error.
Yeah.
Zero room. Like they got to clean that up.
Got to be maybe a little, I guess as a Red Sox fan, you got to think, get the errors out now. Get them out of your system. Play maybe not loose and carefree, but get a feel for how you're going to play as young team. And then, like you said, when you get to the playoffs, that's when that stuff's got to be gone. But I know at a certain point, it's got to kind of start to get gone now. Because if it keeps going, we all have habits. It's hard just to wake up and say, I'm not going to drink or smoke cigarettes or
right.
Like what they say, 22 days or something to break a habit. So they really need to, I think, focus on the little things. Because I think as a whole, I mean, how can you not be excited where you guys are? Because
nobody expected this. Yeah. Nobody expected this. I mean, it's almost like you feel like you're almost playing with house money. And here's an interesting question: would you right now rather be the Yankees or would you rather be the Red Sox? And I know the Yankees have a 4 or 5 game lead.
That's a fun question. Because, of course, people could be like, well, I mean, the Yankees, because, we still have a better record. But I can look at it like, well, it's about getting hot. The closer you get to the playoffs, I know we're still a little ways away, but look at what we've talked about since June. They have just 2 different teams. So I'd rather be on the Red Sox team or at least be a manager with them right now, riding this wave, All the pressure bad media.
That's it, man. That's it. It's like the Sox are not supposed to be here, so they're going to play loose.
Yeah,
the Yankees have that big payroll.
1-6 in extra innings since June 12th. The Yankees
really
do not play well in extra innings.
Feeling the pressure,
and they were 49-21 before June 12th. So think of that.
28 games above 500.
Yeah, I did write that down. They are 5-6. Well, 5-16.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're completely going in the wrong direction.
Now, something that I wrote that's super funny to me. I think all Boston Nation should know this. Yeah. I hope you guys laugh and enjoy this that I'm getting ready to tell you, because you guys had a crazy comeback tonight and won at New York on George Costanza bobblehead night.
That's right. I did see that. I was
good 4 hours before the game started for those bobbleheads.
Get out of here.
I mean, I like Seinfeld. I love.
Oh, who doesn't love Seinfeld? Seinfeld, one of the best shows ever. I was
curious about what do Red Sox fans think of Seinfeld? Do they just not care about the little fact that he works for the Yankees, or do they just make fun of that part, or because it is
funny
a rival team that Costanza's working for?
It's but funny I love Seinfeld, Funny you said that, because on the Red Sox broadcast tonight, the sideline reporter guy was saying how he had to pull strings and talk to the people he knows to get one.
Oh my gosh! Really?
And the play-by-play guy and the color guy, a guy by the name of Will Middlebrooks, they were talking, and he said, Will, do you want one of these? And he's like, absolutely not. No way in hell would I ever want this. It's got Yankees on it. So obviously that thing's going straight in the trash. So it's funny because you got some people, they don't mind it, and some people, the Seinfeld thing, they just, they want nothing of it. So
just to have it, just because it's.
Oh, and it was pretty cool, actually. I was seeing now I almost want to pull up a picture of it because they.
I wonder how many times. Now I know this is probably something you're probably like, I don't really care about, but I wonder how many times the Seinfeld cast did they ever go to a Yankees game together, or does George or what's his name in real life? Jason something.
Jason Alexander.
Is he a Yankees fan in real life, or does he go to Yankee games? I'm curious.
That's a great question. I know Seinfeld is from New York.
I mean, I've seen him, I think, wear a Yankees cap.
And yes. And
who is the? I don't mean to put you on the spot here. I always have these random questions. Who is who do you think's like or who are the Red Sox big celebrity fans?
Ben Affleck. Mark Wahlberg. Who did you say? Who did you ask?
Drew Barrymore, or am I just thinking of that because she?
No, that's because in the movie. She's in Fever Pitch. She's in Fever Pitch with
But she might be a Sox fan because of that movie. You never know.
It's possible. She doesn't strike me She doesn't strike me as a big sports fan at all. So you know what? That is that's interesting
like,
because
when I think of like the Knicks, you think of Spike Lee. When I
yes,
think of the Lakers, I think of
Jack Nicholson, exactly.
I think of the
Exactly.
Celtics.
The Celtics?
Honestly, I just think of the whole freaking city. I mean, I just think
That's true.
city. I don't think celebrities. I just think that whole fucking city wants to win.
You know what? You're right.
Celtics, and we talked about it. I'm a Laker fan, but Laker fans, they don't even pay attention to the game. They're just on their phones and hanging out, and they're just a bunch of celebrities, birds. There's a few of them that are probably cool, but like I said, I was always a Laker fan because of Shaq and Kobe. But as far as fans, you can't really compare Boston and LA because Boston's die hard to the
whole different.
And I think LA is fluky. I mean, I'm not. I've been a Laker fan for life, but I don't think Laker fans are as passionate.
But you're the exception. You're the blue collar Laker fan, which most Laker fans you think of the glitz, the glamour.
They chime in when they're winning.
Like that. I'm going there to just show my face, get a few selfies.
It's just it's too much.
Promote my brand. Like
glasses on. It's like, dude, are you not inside a lit up arena? Like, does everybody wear glasses all the time in LA? I mean, I know Jack Nicholson's famous for it, but
that's what made the rivalry so great because you had such
it was LA style meets like Boston, like blue collar.
Complete opposite fan bases. You got the guys that are just came from their 9-to-5 construction job to the Hollywood moguls that are just, where am I getting plastic surgery tomorrow? Well, let's compare our butt lifts, like
totally different.
So,
And honestly, I've lived in Indiana my whole life, and I've always liked the Pacers. I'm just not like out here like a diehard Pacer, but man, this Pacer team's going to be fun. Now I know you guys broke their heart, but I think they learned a lot from Boston spanking them like that.
Pacers had an amazing year. They were, no one expected them, kind of like the Red Sox actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody expected them to do what they did this year at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
they would have won that game one. I know me and you've talked about it. That could have really. I mean,
the series could have been but we still win. But the series, I think,
the Pacers, they were right there. How do you lose the game? That's like a middle school team could have finished that game out. And I blame the coach too. Why not call a timeout there? I've thought about that play so many times. They throw it towards your all's basket. He steals it. I mean. Why not call a timeout, man? You got them. Use them.
Oh, or what about the tactic of foul when you're up 3, you foul? Like, I'm surprised more teams don't do that.
That's a one that a lot of the experts. Apparently, I'm on the dumbass side of it because I understand. I'm smart enough to understand why you do it, so you don't when you're down. So you don't give them that chance to hit the 3. But I'm always kind of like, man. They have to hit a 3 that's going to be potentially pretty contested. But then what happens is these teams don't want to contest, so they don't.
They don't want to foul. Yeah, they don't want
3, and you're like, damn it, they should have fouled. But
that's it.
I guess just I never played at a Division I or NBA level, so when I was in high school, we always my coach was you just play straight up. We didn't do all that stuff. But the analytics are way different now, and apparently you are supposed to foul in that situation. And it's crazy.
Lance, you see on the screen? Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is.
That's hilarious.
The bobblehead, which I mean, it's pretty cool. Like I'm gonna admit, as a Seinfeld fan, I'd want one.
Have you guys ever done a Ben Affleck one or a Mark Wahlberg? Do that?
Well, no, because it's not like they were in a movie.
True.
Maybe the town, but he was robbing Fenway, so I don't know if that's really great for the kids. So,
that's hilarious. What a great movie!
One of the best, man. One of the best.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So
hilarious bobblehead. I could see the news column like, "Is Boston serious with this? Like, we had our kids here." Like one of them's like him with the mask on,
mask and a gun and a money bag. Yeah, like. Oh man, how to get the PR person fired immediately.
I like him too. I thought he did pretty good.
And which
Batman?
Oh yeah, he was
I
good.
forget what they called his. Was it just Batman or Batman versus Superman? He was in.
There was a lot of those. Your guess is better than mine. Yeah, I did too. There's so many.
I did have.
I do.
Garrett Cole, by the way, will be up next.
That's great. So tomorrow's.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before we get into tomorrow's, let's just. I did load this up
more than anything.
for today. Here it is.
1-0 pitch, high fly ball center field. Grisham's racing back, still backing up all the way to the wall. He can't get it, and that ball gets out of here.
You gotta love it.
That's a two-run
I mean, look at the confidence in his face. He's so happy.
It was great. I mean, it was. You see the team. The team was all going nuts. I think.
Do you feel the team bonding right now even more? Like it just seems like they're really in it for each other right now.
Completely, and it's a great point that you bring up because it's almost like an us against the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody believed in us. Management didn't even believe in us. They didn't. Our payroll is half of what the Yankees is. Nobody believes in us.
And yeah,
it almost brings them together. It's because nobody believes us. Okay, we'll show them. I know if I was on a pro player on a team and we were up against it like that, I know that would kind of like motivate me. And
I mean, I think that they didn't say it, but privately that had to have motivated Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
Cincinnati, nobody thinks you're any good. You have a lousy payroll.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Yankees just thought they was going to brush us off, even though they've been struggling. I don't think they took that series very serious at all. And I think we wanted the series bad. I really do.
That's a great point. It's you got to think that there's two factors coming in. So the Reds are coming in motivated, like, hey, let's show these big boys, these big payroll guys, we can compete with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Yankees that are probably almost thinking like, yeah, we'll just show up and we're gonna win. We just show up, and that's the great thing about sports, like that's why you play the games,
I mean, that's the reason why you have rankings and underdogs and favorites, because anything can happen. The favorite.
That's why the Vegas makes the lines,
Never hit them right 100%, but
if you did, you'd be a millionaire.
I might be way off on this number, but I feel like they say professional gamblers are like only in like the mid 40s or high 40s or something of actual.
No, it's the ones that make money are like they're slightly over, like they're like 55%. Like,
yeah, like they must just go hard at the right,
or like 60% or something. It's not
very
it's
good.
Not as you think. Oh, these guys are winning all the 9 out of 10 bets. They're winning like 6 out of 10, which that means exactly. And
just hope those 6 times were more than the 4, because you could have 4 devastating nights and then 6 just like, I made $100 tonight,
Well, that's what separates the I guess they call them the sharps from us, is that I saw a thing, I think it was on Showtime or something, and it was all on like the bettors in Vegas, and they showed the guys that do it for a living. They showed the amateurs that are just emotionally betting, and the pros. They are pretty much just wagering almost the same amount on all the games, and the one guy that was doing all the betting doesn't watch any of the games. He just does the analyst, makes a shit ton of bets at a shit ton of casinos, because I guess you can have limits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't watch any of the games. But apparently he's good enough that it finances his life. It's what he does for his career. And he must hit 60%. So, it's then they show other guys like us, betting and watching the game in the casino, like half of them drunk, half of them screaming and crying. Yeah.
So they never lose on the road when you didn't even look that stat up. You're just feeling it like, oh,
exactly,
man. Exactly, yeah. Don't ever lose in New York. You're like, I don't think that's true, man. Like, no, man, trust me, dude.
He's got the same birthday as me. He's going to win tonight. Like
Space Jam, dude. He's going to win. Like, trust me.
Oh,
but
man.
you, I did write it down here. Let's see where. Oh yeah, Garrett Cole. So something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So okay. So pitching matchup tomorrow. Now that we we talked about the great win tonight. Tomorrow's matchup is, I mean, Garrett Cole is their 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 billion-dollar guy, whatever.
And that's only his fourth start, I guess, since elbow surgery.
Really?
This will be his fourth start. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I had him down. It said he was 1-1 with a 6.23 ERA, which.
Oh, really?
That's
I
would assume.
I've been lost. I've been kind of lost in the whole, like, the Celtics lately. I haven't been keeping up with the Yankees. Let's I'm gonna look that up right now.
Now for you all, I don't want to butcher this last name. Josh Winkowski. He is 2-1 with a 2.8 ERA for Boston. That's who's going to be starting for you all tomorrow. So honestly, I mean, not just because we're doing the Boston thing. I like Boston tomorrow because what if Garrett Cole's just not quite ready? And then they got to pull him out early. And then now you're playing this shuffle game as the Yankees pitching staff. What if – and you guys, I mean, you go back and look at Boston over their last 10, 15 games. It's like you guys a lot of times have either scored 7 runs or 4 runs. Those numbers keep coming up. At least that's what I saw in my head. That's why I gave you the score prediction yesterday for today. 4-3, because I thought, man, they've hit 7 and 4 a lot. I like 4 at the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are going to let them score 7, but I think it'll be close. And I was damn close. I mean, they scored 5. But
yeah,
I don't think Garrett Cole.
Wow, I get
come in and light him up tomorrow. I don't see it happening.
You know what? That's a great. I had not realized he's been out most of the year. He's only made 3 starts this year.
Yeah,
he's 1-1, and his ERA is.
Garbage.
High 6.23,
which, like I said, not a whole lot of time out on the mound. Just a
small sample size. Yeah.
But I think you got to feel pretty good if you're Boston's offense going into the game tomorrow. I mean, I know that Garrett Cole could potentially get hot. He could be perfect tomorrow. I don't know, but I like the chances of Boston winning tomorrow just because of that. I got to see Cole play well before I'm going to say he plays well.
You know what? That's I'm glad you brought that up. I like the Sox tomorrow. Even if I was just betting on it, I would. I'm interesting what the line would be.
I will give you a more realistic one tomorrow, but as of right now, I think that Boston scores 5 or 6 tomorrow. Just because they went to Boston or they went to the Yankees tonight. They got those jitters out. They won. Now I think they bat a little better. They play a little looser. So why?
Well, the pressure's all on the Yankees too.
Yeah, and the home runs. I mean, you've got the home run guys, obviously, and Yoshida that you can step up and hit a home run. His confidence through the roof right now has to be through the roof after tonight's game.
Here's the thing too: is our best player Devers. Absolutely owns Cole. His numbers. I don't have them in front of me. They are off the charts. He's got. Like half of his hits against Cole. I think.
So he might be somebody that we should look at tomorrow and see what his prop bets are like.
And you know what, Vegas. Vegas seems to agree with us because the Red Sox are the favorites tomorrow.
And I'll tell you what, I haven't looked at any, I've just been talking to you. I wonder what the over-under for strikes for Cole tomorrow, because I would take the under for sure.
Oh, no, actually, no. They have the Yankees at minus 185 for the money line. And the Sox at plus 150. That might be some good value there.
And, I'm sure that Vegas is probably still pounding this whole, well, it's the Yankees. They're going to get on track at home. But at some point, you have to like Boston on the streak they've been on, because I think it's a streak for sure. At least qualifies as a streak. I mean,
momentum is a thing in baseball. So it's I don't hate that bet. I don't hate that bet taking the Sox.
Maybe taking Boston money line and then parlaying it with, like you said, a Devers over under hit or home run or something.
We got it. You got to find your Lance lock of the day. Look through the the props, because I'm sure you'll find a good one.
NG, BetMGM is like who I use, the one with the lion.
I was just looking at that. That's the site I was just looking at.
I gotta send them some stuff. Apparently, I had won some. It wasn't like I won 50 grand or anything, but like the last time I won from them was like $200 or something on some bet.
Yeah.
And then they were all like, "Oh, we need to make sure that what your salary is per hit you guys for like $200, and you think I'm Donald Trump over here? Like,
that's crazy.
I'm just a pizza guy, man. Like, so now I got to stuff, which I don't.
That's
care.
The worst is when
in trouble.
So
because I want to bet and I can't now because it's like, oh, you have to send us, these papers so we know you're like a real human or something or whatever the thing is. It just seems annoying. But
Lance, let me say,
my one buddy, I was like, well, here's the thing. I went to FanDuel and I guess I got locked out of my account or had an account and couldn't remember, so I have to call them to get it reopened. So I'm like, what the heck, man? How did I get locked out of these places?
You know what's funny though? Is they didn't give you the hard time when you're depositing money into the account.
Oh, I know.
It's just when you want to take it out, yeah?
The most money that, I'm not a big sports bettor. I more or less always write things down and then say, why didn't I put money on that?
Yeah, right.
Those people, but the most I've ever won in just like one time, I won $1,200.
That's amazing.
Super Bowls that I say one of them because I can't remember which one, but it was one of the Kansas City Super Bowls. I had bet like 2 prop bets and parlayed them. And put like $100 on it, and then
no way,
something retarded.
That's awesome, dude.
And then or I think I had first touchdown of the game was something, or something stupid, and I actually hit both.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I've never won. I see these people like Dave and on everybody loves Dave.
Oh yeah,
$1 million bets and 500,000.
You only hear about his wins though. You don't hear about his loss. You only hear about his wins. That's the thing.
A lot of those bettors, I hear what they do is they hedge their bets so that
that's
even
true.
When here they're like winning here, and I'm not smart enough to do all that. I just find bets I feel hot about, and sometimes I hit some others don't.
Yeah,
but it is crazy to think that you could look at all the analytics, research everything, and be like, okay, the Boston Celtics have played 20 games this year, and they've never scored under 80 points.
Yeah,
I like them over 82 tonight or something, and then they drop 60. That's betting.
that is the thing with betting. It's
people for just being like my mother when the Kentucky Derby, which is big in my area, every year. She'll just look for like random horse names that she likes. I like this name, right? And my mom has randomly won at these parties more than I can count because she just randomly picks something like their name, or she'll be like, "Oh, I like the way that horse is walking." I'm like, "They all look the damn same. What do you mean? Just trot along." Like she's like, "Oh, I'm telling you." It's like, Mom, you need to get a sports betting account.
My grandmother was like that. She just had all these like random things, like their the number is the same birth date as her husband or some nephew of mine. It was crazy, and she would hit. So
it goes to show you that just because you think you know about sports doesn't make you right. Because
that's so true.
March Madness. How many times do you see it every year where a guy and then his fiance fills one out that doesn't even watch basketball and hers?
Yeah, right. Someone that doesn't follow it at all wins. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh man. Whew. Well, Lance, we are up against the hour. It has been it's flown by. It's flown by because time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
But I'll look forward to your lock of the day tomorrow.
Yes, I will get it in.
Let's follow the Sox, and then maybe we'll do a show after the Sox sweep.
Nice. Let's plan on it.
Sound good?
Sweet.
Cool, man. All right, man. Well, everyone, that concludes our show. Thank you for everyone tuning in, listening on the replay.
We love you.
We do. We love you guys, and we'll see you after the Sox sweep. So,
peace out.
Take care, my people.